A teenager was shot as crowds blocked traffic last night in Streeterville. Chicago police tried to disperse the teens. Now, we've seen this happen over the past couple of summers. NBC5's Jen Shantz is in our control center now with what we know this morning. Jen.
Patrick, a 15-year-old suffered a graze wound last night to the leg, but was last listed in good condition. Of course, yesterday, temperatures, they were in the 70s, and with it being a weekend night, it drew a lot of youth to the downtown area. We want to show you the scene near Ogden Park. This was in Streeterville and near the Columbus and Illinois intersection. Our crews witnessed police trying to break up large crowds using flashing lights to try and disperse the teens, which, as you can see, largely ineffective. You can also see teens running from police and blocking traffic. There were reports of some loud pops, and this was the scene not far from that intersection. This is on City Front Plaza. You can see first responders helping that 15-year-old who was taken to Lurie Children's Hospital. Police report they heard gunshots and saw a large group of people run off. Now, in the past, these large gatherings of teens blocking traffic have prompted stricter curfews for minors downtown. Some aldermen have pushed for this again this year. Currently, those 17 and under have a 10 p.m. curfew downtown. Now, our crews did see several teens in handcuffs being placed into a police van last night. It is still unclear, though, how many arrests were made. I've reached out to Chicago police for more details. We, of course, will bring you any new information we learn throughout the morning. In the control center, Jen Shantz, NBC5 News.
All right, thank you, Jen. New overnight, a teenager was shot as crowds blocked traffic downtown. Chicago police tried to disperse the teens, and we've seen this happen over the past couple of summers. NBC5's Jen Shantz joins us live from Streeterville with more on what happened. Jen.
Good morning, Patrick. It felt like deja vu for a lot of people who live here in Streeterville. Just feet from where I'm standing, that 15-year-old was shot. According to police, he suffered a graze wound to the leg. He was taken to Lurie Children's Hospital in good condition. And around the same time that was happening, the bulk of the crowd control issues that we noticed were right behind me here at the intersection of Columbus and Illinois. And you may remember just across the street on Illinois at the AMC movie theater, that's where a couple of weeks ago a tourist was shot. She was struck after reports of teens gathering in the area. Now, in response to that shooting, 42nd Ward Alderman Brendan Riley expressed frustration specifically with large teen gatherings and renewed calls for additional fixed police posts in the area. Back to last night's crowd issues. Our crews witnessed police trying to break up large crowds, using flashing lights to try and disperse the teens, many of them running from police and fighting in the street. Now, that teenager was helped by first responders on City Front Plaza. Police reported hearing shots and seeing many people flee the scene. Now, back here live on City Front Plaza, these large gatherings in the past have prompted calls to have teenagers have an earlier curfew downtown. Right now, it is at 10 p.m. I've reached back out to Alderman Riley's office for a response to this latest incident. I've also reached out to Chicago police to get details on arrests from last night. We don't have those numbers. However, Patrick, our crews did see several teens in handcuffs being put into police vans. Much more to come on this story. We're live in Streeterville. Jen Shantz, NBC5 News.
All right, we'll talk to you again next half hour. Thank you, Jen.
Renewed calls for an earlier teen curfew in downtown Chicago after large gatherings lead to chaos, disruptions, and arrests. RB Wynn has more on what's being done to address teen takeovers.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Mayor Brandon Johnson arrived at Navy Pier for the 4th annual Teen Bash one day after this teen takeover downtown.
The dangerous behavior that was on display, no one wants to see that, and our police department will continue to hold people accountable.
The mayor addressed the incidents in Streeterville, saying he does not support an earlier curfew, but the need for more safe spaces for teens.
What I'm calling for is to do what works. Shifting the problem into other communities, that's not how we transform our city.
New video captured the violence near Columbus in Illinois. Teens were seen fighting and running into traffic as officers tried to disperse the crowd. A 15-year-old boy ended up grazed in the leg after police say someone fired shots in front of NBC Tower. Weeks ago, a tourist was also shot while walking with her son near AMC.
We can't have this. We have to put a stop to this. We can't allow this to continue all summer long. It's just a matter of time before someone is killed.
Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins is proposing to move the city's curfew up from 10 p.m. to 8 p.m.
The only thing that really has an effect is making arrests when laws are broken or enforcing curfew. Those are the two things that really do work to disperse the crowds.
He says police arrested 4 people for felony battery against officers and for having replica guns, 6 for curfew violations. An officer was also injured breaking up a fight. Some people
like a hazard now. You're having to worry about this every day when it's warm.
Clearly the system is not working.
I think it's very dangerous about this whole thing.
Throwing more police on it is not going to be the solution.
Violence prevention advocates are calling on the city to open 24-hour community centers to host events like this one for teens.
I think it's a part of what would help to solve the problem, because you give the young people something to do. Right now, people just run around idle.
As for the proposed curfew ordinance, the alderman is asking for a council vote in April. Reporting in Streeterville, V1 NBC5 News.
Well, there are renewed calls for an earlier teen curfew in downtown Chicago after teens blocked traffic this weekend.
Yeah, take a look. This was the scene in Streeterville on Friday night near Ogden Park. Groups of teenagers were fighting in the street, running from police and blocking busy intersections. A 15-year-old was also shot nearby, just outside NBC Tower, in fact. But that teenager is expected to recover.
NBC5's Jen Shantz is in our control center live this morning with reaction from city leaders, including the mayor. Jen.
Good morning, Lexi and Patrick. Investing in youth has been a platform of Mayor Johnson's. Yesterday, at a Teen Bash event at Navy Pier, he touted a 45% increase in the number of teens who have access to summer jobs in Chicago since he took office. That event happened to come just one day after the chaos in Streeterville.
You know, the reckless and dangerous behavior that was exhibited last night, no one wants to see that, and we're not going to tolerate it.
After Friday's incident, many are asking what else needs to be done. Alderman Brian Hopkins is calling for a vote in April to move the teen curfew up 2 hours to 8 p.m. in the downtown area. He says this is the second large teen gathering downtown so far this month.
It's never happened this early before, and this is the second in a row where gunfire was a factor.
According to Alderman Hopkins, 4 people were arrested for felony battery against officers and for having replica guns, 6 for curfew violations. He also says an officer was hurt while breaking up a fight. Hopkins thinks if police are able to enforce curfew violations on the street sooner, scenes like this might be avoided. Some violence prevention advocates are also calling on the city to open up a 24-hour community center. After a tourist was shot outside the AMC movie theater earlier this month following another teen gathering, additional police patrols were put in place. A Streeterville resident I spoke with doesn't think more officers will be a quick fix here, but he too says he thinks teens need somewhere to go and something to do downtown.
It looks like they're going to some other place and end up here all together, unannounced. I don't know if it's organized, but every year, same time, warm day, they're right here.
Felt a little bit like deja vu on Friday. Now, Johnson did say those who created the chaos on Friday should be held accountable. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, his response to calls for an earlier curfew for teens and why he doesn't think that's the solution here. Lexi, back to you.